Avatar is once again expanding to the sphere of video games with a gorgeous new open world to explore. And while this canon spin-off of James Cameron's saga is undeniably beautiful, it's not always clear about explaining the best way to go about doing things. We're here to go over 14 things that Avatar: Frontiers of Pandora doesn't tell you, or that you may need more clarification on. After the intro, it's easy to quickly be overwhelmed by side content you can do on the map, but we recommend staying on the main quest until you complete Take Flight, the quest in which you unlock your Ikran. Having a flying mount that you can call nearly anywhere makes traversal so much easier and more fun, and that side content will still be there for you once you've unlocked it. Bonding your Ikran, which you should definitely name Carol because that's the funniest name, also unlocks the 5th skill tree, which revolves around different upgrades for your mount. In the world of Avatar, Tarsyu flowers are a way for Na'vi to connect with their ancestors. In this game, that's driven home by passing along ancestor skills, and while the first Tarsyu flower is mandatory since you're led there by a story quest, you're on your own to find the rest. And you should prioritize them whenever possible as they grant important skills such as jumping takedowns and negating fall damage. Thankfully, they're easy to find as you can track them from your ancestor's skill page. Hover over the skill you want to unlock and press triangle or Y on controller, or G on keyboards to open their location up to your map. Some you may not be able to grab immediately if they're inside the fog of war zone on the map, or damaged by pollution, so you'll have to clear up the surrounding area to get them to open up. Also, keep in mind that there's a difference between full Tarsyu flowers and Tarsyu saplings. The former gives an ancestor skill and 2 skill points, while the latter gives no ancestor skills and 1 skill point. You'll see lush vegetation almost anywhere you look, but keep an eye out for colors that pop or strange designs in the environment. A lot of these plants will be just as likely to hurt you as help you, so make sure to scan them from a safe distance until you find out what they do. They might give you resources for crafting, act as a giant trampoline, or explode as a defense mechanism. Be smart, don't get exploded. Also, these trees with giant leaves can actually break your fall. Very useful. Whether it be cooks, weavers, weapon crafters, or any other type of artisan, make sure that you speak to every vendor with a prompt receive. They'll usually have crafting designs for you that you can unlock for free on the second tab of their menu, which can be easy to miss. These designs are free, but required for use at a crafting table, so make sure to collect all that you can. For a full primer on crafting, make sure to check out our separate crafting guide. Clan favor is a currency that you can build up through various means, such as completing side quests for a certain clan or dismantling nearby RDA facilities. Another direct way you can increase clan favor is by donating items and resources to the clan contribution baskets. Also, don't just drop your old weapons or gear when you get something better. Donate them to the clan for extra favor. Something to note is that clan favor isn't just something you build up to receive rewards from vendors. It is still a currency that can be spent, so make sure to use it on what you actually need, and don't let it reach its maximum, or your actions in the outside world will be wasted and it won't fill up. The hazy directional arrow that sometimes appears on your HUD will lead you to nearby points of interest, such as bell sprigs, plants that give permanent health boosts, or Sirentu totems. Once you start heading in the correct direction, the arrow will turn into a circle to let you know you're on the right track. Use your Na'vi senses to highlight the special point of interest directly once you're close enough. The Na'vi are a bit more agile than us regular humans, and can actually sprint in every direction, not just forward. The same goes for charge jumps as well. Apparently circle strafing transcends cultures. What a beautiful concept. While in the Hunter's Guide, you can choose to inspect all the different enemies you encounter up close. You can even toggle on their weak spots on these little dioramas so you'll be ready to strike whoever is most effective during your next engagement. There are some very dangerous predators out in the open world of Pandora. The Thanator, for instance, will render you unable to focus your senses until it reveals itself. You'll hear and feel a pounding heartbeat if you're using a controller with a rumble that gets closer and closer as the corners of your screen start to turn white. Once the Thanator shows itself, however, you're free to use your senses and scan it, but you probably won't survive the encounter as it can instantly kill you early on. But after you respawn, it will be available to examine in your Hunter's Guide. Until you're ready to take one on, when your character suddenly says,
Oh no.
You hear a pounding heartbeat, and you're suddenly unable to use your senses. Hightail it out of there to the nearest safe zone. The pouch you use to carry gear and resources is limited, so don't try and pick up everything you find. Instead, scan for resources that are in their most wanted state, such as in a rainstorm or at nighttime. Picking these, using correct technique while they're in their most favorable condition, is the most efficient way to gather the resources that you need, and you won't cram your pouch full of substandard material. You can also turn off the gathering minigame if you don't want to bother with it, but that will limit the quality of the resource when picking it. Make sure to use the pinning feature as well to find what you need to craft that next upgrade. You can also pin more specific materials by going through the Hunter's Guide and remove individual pinned materials in most of the in-game menus. You will constantly find yourself or your Ikran with a depleted stamina bar, so make sure to stop by cooking stations and make some more recipes whenever you have the time. Fast traveling will also take 20% of your stamina meter, so if you're the type of player who wants to hop from point to point, you'll need even more food. For your Ikran stamina, there's a skill you can unlock that allows you to feed the Ikran by skimming deep water. Frontiers of Pandora has a pretty great map, if you utilize all of its features. First, it's in 3D, so make sure you tilt up and down to get the full view of the area you're in, especially if you're on floating isles. Different colored light streams indicate different locations. Blue streams are home bases, pink streams are where you can find ancestor skills, and green streams are the default custom waypoints, although you can edit those to be whatever color you wish. The blue dots are for previously discovered points of interest, and the purple dots are for undiscovered ones. Also, tap up on the D-pad or C on keyboard to highlight the different biomes. Each biome has different flora, fauna, and crafting materials, and hovering your cursor over them will pop up a menu that tells you about each. And tap down on the D-pad or X on keyboard to pop up the material tracker. It will show you which materials you have pinned for an easy cross-reference with the different areas. Hacking will not only open certain chests or solve puzzles, it can be used to disable enemy systems such as turrets, and from a pretty safe distance. If you want a sure way to improve your odds, you can even hack several devices at once, and then trigger them all to go offline simultaneously. As you continue to level, there's an indicator in the top right corner of the character page, this little exclamation point, that lets you know if some of your gear is too weak for the content you're playing. Look for the same exclamation points under particular gear pieces as an indication that you need to replace it with something stronger. Trying to take down an RDA camp with severely underpowered gear is going to be really tough going. We hope you found these tips useful for your time exploring the frontiers of Pandora. For more help, make sure to check out our full crafting guide. And for everything else gaming, you're already in the right place. IGN.
We must bring the fight to them.